This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bills fans, welcome to 24/7 Buff Fandemonium presents the K-Gun Report, Season 3, Episode 5. I'm Jarrod. Joining me tonight, we have Swank.
Yo! What's up? What's up, Bills Mafia? I'm so pumped for tonight. We got so many extras going on, so we get special effects and shit. Hold on, let me just give you one thing. Ready? Our boy Paul Rossi. Hey, that's right. Comments live right down there. You see that? Right there. You want it? You got it. You want something on the screen? We got you. Here we are, day and night, baby. Oh, ooh. See, that's juice. They call that juice, I guess. Juice and drip, baby.
That looks beautiful. Looks beautiful. Also joining us tonight, Mr. Scott.
You know you make me wanna. Hey, guys, if you ever get a chance, just Powder Day IPA from Sierra Nevada. Amazing stuff. Welcome, Fandemonium. 24/7 Buff Fandemonium. Welcome, Mafia. This is exciting times. Swank's got comments coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We got digs. The draft is in 2 weeks. Damn. Let's go, Buffalo.
Let's go.
Fandemonium, what I want you to do is go get a pen and a piece of paper. We're going to break down the 16 AFC East teams or AFC teams tonight. We're going to break it down from the worst all the way down to the first. So get your pen and mark them down while we do a quick chat before we get there, and then we'll go over that. Guys, welcome. What do you guys want to start it with? Okay, let's go. Bobby Hart signs. Would you say he signed for the fourth time in the last 2 years?
Yeah, the Bills have Hart, Bobby Hart, and it's for the fourth time in 2 years we have him. So
that's
not a really great, or I mean, whatever. Not an exciting signing. Not anything that's like gonna make anybody really happy, I don't think. Definitely not anything that I am like stoked, except for the guy knows the system and he's depth and he's gonna be a body at training camp and blah blah blah. Blah blah Bobby Hart. That's what it is.
Blee blee blow blow Bobby Hart.
Scott, you left a nice little message on Facebook today about a player like Bobby Hart. What do you think about Bobby Hart? And share with the friends what your message said.
I did leave a message. It was a personal Facebook page, my personal page, only because sometimes when I express my opinions, I don't want it to be our page related, especially if it's my individual thought. It was based off this Bobby Hart signing. You get a lot of people saying, why are we signing him? The guy's trash. And you see that all over the league. You see it all around the league. And I had to write a post kind of just reminding people, the Bills, every NFL team has to fill up 90 spots before training camp. And there's 90 positions that are being filled for training camp purposes, practice, and then a lot of those people get cut. Actually, 21 get cut at the least, and 16 of them go to the practice squad. So where we're here sitting on our couches, on our chairs, saying this guy sucks, this guy shouldn't be here. Listen, this guy's made it to the NFL with the opportunity of making a football team. More than 1% of the 1% of the 1% that any fan out there has ever made it. So give the guy credit where credit's due. He's going to work his ass off no matter who it is to try to make that roster. And if he doesn't, okay, that sucks for him because, he's probably put his whole life, sweat and tears into this opportunity, and he's going to be denied. And that's sad. So when these guys come and put on the red, white, and blue, you can't have them all 90 on the field. But you hope that somewhere they find a roster spot somewhere. And like we always say on the show, if they're wearing red, white, and blue, I don't care if it's Bobby Hart for the fourth time. I'm rooting for him. And if he made the roster, he made it for a reason. And that's the big reason I put that post out because, talent needs to be recognized. He may not be the best player in the NFL, but he made it to the NFL.
I agree, man.
Damn right.
I think that your post was very well written. And, we're all about positivity here, right? And supporting the team. And really, if you're rooting for Bobby Hart to fail, you're rooting for the Buffalo Bills to fail, and that's completely counterproductive to everything that we want, right? So man, I'd make jokes. I mean, again, it's not the most exciting thing to me, but is it the stupidest free agency pickup? No. You know, a guy that knows the system, like I said, a guy that's obviously been on their radar enough to sign him several times and keep him kicking around. I mean, I don't know. It's just one of those things that's like, you come to expect it. Mm-hmm. Bobby Hart is going to get signed to the Bills over and over again, and that's just it. But yeah, man, we talked about it Sunday. 1% of high school athletes, or less than 1% of college athletes make it into the NFL. You know, so it's a big deal if you make it on a roster.
Heck yeah. Yeah, and I'm glad he's there again. Obviously, McDermott and Bean see something in him. If he's just there to be a body, even better. He's going to make other teammates better. But we will see what happens. Also, something else happened. Probably a day after we talked about this individual. Stefon Diggs is going to be with the Bills for a little bit longer, guys. Swank, what are your feelings? What's your feels about Stefon Diggs signing that nice extension?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I mean, it's amazing. Like, how fun is this team to root for right now? This is the team that we've wanted to root for the last 25 years, you know, a big lovable quarterback who is this amazing, like, rags to riches, pull yourself up by your bootstraps kind of story, like a Buffalo guy through and through, who happens to become friends with the so-called locker room cancer, who's going to ruin your team. And then all of a sudden it's like, dude, they remind me of football Calvin and Hobbes. Like, they're just like two mischievous dudes that like get into all sorts of like trouble, and like they're just fun to watch. And to know that you can watch them play together every Sunday of your adult life for the next 6 years, that is super special. This isn't Fitzy signing a contract and playing with Stevie Johnson, even though that was fun. This is like, you have superstars that are going to be playing together for 6 years, you know. And I don't know, we say it all the time, stop and realize where you're at in this moment. This is a very special time to be a Bills fan, and if nothing else happens, those two are going to be playing football together on the same line for the next 6 years. It's a big deal. Pay the man. Love it. Especially
in today's NFL, 6 years on the same team is just unheard of. So good job, Bean. Scott, what's up?
You don't have to worry about your number one quarterback. You don't have to worry about the easily the best route runner in the NFL. We have them at both until at least 2028.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Man, it's beautiful.
Short, sweet.
Love it. All right. That's the show for tonight. So we hope to see everybody next. No, just kidding. Before, I know, Scott, we have an image of something that we're going to be putting out there pretty soon, right? It's another raffle. Did you want to elaborate a little bit more on what that's all about? We could show everybody.
Yeah, of course. Swank, you got that image up, my friend? Yeah, there it is. So, yeah, you know, 24/7 Buff Pandemonium likes to help where we can, and we actually have a Mid Lakes Junior Eagles. It's actually where we all went to school, and you know, so we'd be more than happy to help out. Obviously, it's a donation raffle. What happened is the Mid Lakes Junior Eagles, the field that they play on, is actually being taken down for cosmetic reasons. They had a hump on it that was used for draining water, but apparently they want to take that down now. And unfortunately for the Mid Lakes Junior Eagles, they don't have a field to play on this year. And what that means is the concession stand will be out of whack. So, and that's how these guys, the boosters and all that stuff, this is how they make majority of the money to pay for coaches' certificates, to pay for helmets, updated uniforms, and you know, passable helmets and all that stuff, is they rely on these concessions. So what we're doing is a donation raffle, and what you're going to see in the image is actually two chunks of the New Era field, the New Era turf. One is actually the field, the other one's the sideline. You can see the white one. They do have COA authentication. There's two of them, and more details will for sure come out on what the donations will be and for how long. But we just wanted to give people a heads up to let them know that we'll be helping out the Little League football team so they can afford the stuff that that the concessions would normally provide for them that they will no longer have. So that's for you there, Mid Lakes Mid-Lakes Eagles.
Yeah, man.
There you go.
These, I don't know. I'm sure some of you probably have pieces of this turf. I jumped right on it, and I think it was before I joined the show. And Jarrod, I think I got at you because Jarrod does helmets, custom helmets, and all that stuff. They look awesome. And I thought it was really cool because these pieces of turf were torn up after Josh Allen's rookie year. So the first year he played football, he played on that turf. And I don't know, man. That's cool to me.
There's a good chance his DNA is on there, guys.
Yeah, it's got to be. He spit on it or something, man, or blew a snot rocket, whatever, dude. I don't care. I'm here for it. It's amazing. But, yeah, I mean, I thought it would be cool to display a helmet on, and Jarrod's used it to take a bunch of pictures like that. It's just cool to have in your Bills shrine room, you know. So very cool. Our friend Jake put them up for the Mid-Lakes Junior Eagles, and, you know, we'll have that open. More details to come. It's a cool thing. Throwing out for the hometown here.
Yep. And they
Dennis
also
Alexander. You guys see what Dennis wrote? You guys got hearts the size of your mouths. Really good dudes. Go Bills.
Thank you.
Hey, and if you didn't see that comment, it's right up here right now.
Yeah.
You know, so there you go. Yo, really quick.
Oh, you moved it.
Well, it switches between the scenes. So if it's
Gotcha.
got the highlight with the picture next to it, then it's going to be up, and then it'll be down when it's just us on screen.
Perfect.
A little production secret, like peek behind the curtain, you know what I mean? Real fast, we got a ton of people hanging out. We have Patrick Hughes. We got Brent Thomason. Randy Sherman, which is a newer name, I think. We got Buffalo Spartan.
This is Sparta.
Dude, are we on a time delay? Are you
No,
in
I was
Alaska?
getting a crack, and you mentioned Thomason, and I was like, shit, gotta get my beer ready.
Yeah, you got too many things. That's true. There's too many gimmicks to hit.
Mhm.
Jason Lee Nowak, Dennis Alexander, Josh Cook, Paul Rossi, Joey Hatch, Troy Pedito, you know, all you guys. And also, if you haven't noticed, we're going comment happy, man. Figured out how to get it all together without having to pay some crazy fee to do it. So your comments are here, man. Whatever you want to write. If you want to say, Jarrod, stop looking at your notes, I'll put it up there, man. I swear to God. Just do it.
He has the power.
No, listen, I have another screen below me. That's why I keep looking, is so I can read all the comments. It's right down here. Anyway.
You know, that's awesome. It's awesome that Swank was able to figure this out because, you know, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. We love doing this because the comments that come in, the 24/7 Buff Pandemonium group that joins in, the Mafia that has this conversation with us, it really is awesome. We really do look forward to this every Tuesday and Sunday. And the fact that we can actually put your face with your concerns, your comments up on our screen now, you're a part of us now. It feels like it's real.
Even
You
more.
guys have always been a part of us. It's just cool. Like, I mean, as the years go on, you can go back and watch the very first episode, you know, and I think that would be a fun episode to do. Maybe like before we do the first like regular season episode of the K-Gun, maybe like a couple weeks before, just like sit down and like have like us watching the first one being like, oh God.
Oh, jeez.
I was in my son's bedroom on a white wall with helmets behind me, and it's like, and my mic, I remember I thought my mic worked, but it wasn't actually my mic working. It was me speaking
that
into
was like a couple weeks in to where we're like, dude, I don't think that's your microphone. It's your computer.
I'm a long way. It's fantastic.
Yeah, Buffalo Spartan, all merch was sent out today. So that all should be coming out to you guys that about the 24/7 BF Black, the red, white, and blue shirts, and the Dig shirts. Thank you guys. We put a little a sale out there, and they're flying off the shelves. So it's awesome. And thank you for the support. We know you guys will wear them proudly.
Yeah, hell yeah. Troy
All
says,
right.
Swank, is that your wife in your band? If you guys didn't know, you could check out my band's live stream every Monday night at 7 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook, The Endless Mountain Derelicts. She's not in the band, but she hangs out during the stream and provides all of the entertainment. So if you're checking that out, do it up. Lisa said I was throwing you under the bus, I think.
I saw that, but I didn't take it like that, Swank. You're good.
Come on, Lisa. No, I wanted you to take it like that. I'm just moving on to Lisa.
Keep looking at your notes, you novice.
You novice.
All right, guys, listen. We're gonna do it. We're gonna go right ahead, and we're gonna talk about the AFC teams that we feel. We're gonna start with the worst, and we're gonna go all the way down to the Buffalo. I mean, the number one team. Swank, Scott, Pandemonium, let us know. Let's do the top four or the bottom four: 16, 15, 14, and 13. Scott, what's your 16th ranked AFC team?
Hold on,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, dude. I love this comment thing, man. Brent Thomason. Swank definitely outpunted your coverage. You're right, bro. I'm not afraid to admit it. She's a babe. Continue the show.
Oh boy,
I think that's true for all of us. I think we definitely landed a lot better. Anyway, don't tell them that they don't watch this, do they? All right, no. Scott, 16. Who's your worst team in AFC?
The Texans. I still got them as the worst team. They don't have a quarterback. They don't have an offense or a defense. 4-13 last year. They're in trouble. They're in trouble. And it's almost like they're trying to get rid of people. I mean, their biggest deal that they've had in a while is not only getting rid of Watson, but just signing Cooks now for 2 years. And that's blowing up the Houston Texans live streams. You feel bad for them. They got a lot of work to do. It's crazy, guys. The Texans are a team that make you understand where the Buffalo Bills are at. Because let's remember 4 years ago, Texans beat us in the playoffs, and they had everything in line, and they were on their way. And all of a sudden, they fell off the face of the earth. And here they are, being my 16th ranked. They're actually 32 overall for me, but they're 16th in the AFC.
Swank, what are you feeling about number 16?
I'm going to tell you, man, I think it's the Jets. I agree. The Texans are a dumpster fire, and spoiler alert, as we go up this line, they're not too far down for me. But I think the Jets, man, there was a report that just came out that said
nobody wants to go there.
There's free agents that have been like blatantly like, I am not coming there. Like, and that's rough, dude. I don't know if I know we've had those guys, right? Antonio Brown, like, kind of made us look like a fool when we were on the uptick, saying that. But I mean, further back than that, like, how much free agency drought did we have before Mario Williams was like, well, if you're going to throw that much money to me, fine, I'll be there and whatever. I don't know. It's for me, it's the Jets. I think they don't have it, and they need a couple strong drafts to get there before people will even consider taking them seriously.
Mm-hmm. And I'm right there with you, Swank. I think the Jets are the worst team in the AFC. I feel bad for Wilson. He's not going to have anything there to protect him or to have him play with. So I think the Jets, again, they finished 4-13 last year. They're 16 for me. Scott, Houston Texans are number 15 for me. Again, you mentioned 4-13. The best thing that they did this offseason to let Watson go. And that's pretty much it. I don't think did I read that Burkhardt signed? Was it Burkhead that signed? And that was the big news. Yeah. So
Brandon Cooks signed a contract for 2 years, but then they signed their star running back, Burkhead.
Burkhead, right? So when your star running back Burkhead's getting signed, right? That's he's a good player back when the scheme fit, but I don't know about being a lead back. So Jets 16, Houston 15. Scott.
I have Jets at 15.
Yeah, I knew that. Yep.
And the thing is they have 2 first-round draft picks in the first 10 picks, and many professional mocks have them going defense, and that just tells you how bad they are, because Zach Wilson needs all the help he can get, and he's not going to get it on the offense. They need an offensive line. They got a pretty good running back that they drafted last year, but they're going defense, and they need to give Zach Wilson some protection and some weapons. So for me, they didn't make it up the list very far for me.
I love that you just said Zach Wilson's name, because Patrick Hughes just said Zach Wilson is in danger, and it's down there right now for you to all.
Look at it. It's over there. It's next to me. It's next to me, isn't it? Over here.
Dude,
every time Swank puts a comment down, he's going to go like this.
Smiles.
My eyes
he says, giggity.
Look down.
Giggity.
Look down.
Hey. Yeah, man.
That is a wonderful feature, by the way, Swank. Thank you for adding this to the show.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, man. It's fun. It's so fun. Jets, Texans, right? All the things you said about the Jets, all the things I said about the Jets, all the things you said. Same thing for the Texans for me. I mean, they're just horrible. But I like David Mills better than I like Zach Wilson at this point. It would be fun for me to see them win like 4 games, you know, like, and have that like not for the Bills, but spoiler mentality, like for somebody else. I think it would be fun if like they smoked out, you know, the Browns. That would be great.
Or the Patriots and the Dolphins. That'd be wonderful.
Yo, sidebar really fast. Have you seen Judon is like still trying to recruit people that aren't free agents? He tried to recruit DK Metcalf, and it was like the most backhanded like compliment. Like DK posted out this thing about how Avengers Endgame always makes him cry. And Judon's like, we play it at the stadium all the time, and I can sit there and I can watch you cry while you watch it. It was like the most awkward, messed up thing.
Desperate.
I was like, dude, you know, like my wide receiver talked to Von Miller on the phone, and you're on Twitter talking about watching DK Metcalf cry. Like, get out of town, bro.
You wonder if he tagged him correctly the first couple times he he sent him a message.
Yeah, right.
Oh gosh, no, delete. It's not that. Damn it.
Stupid.
Idiot. Mike Bulk, they have a decent receiver. Elijah Moore, he is a good receiver. He could be an outstanding receiver, but Zach Wilson's the guy with the issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Right, number 14. I'm going to go ahead and jump on this one. 14, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. They finished 3-14 last year. Trevor Lawrence, he got his bumps. I give the Jaguars credit for leaving him in for the majority of the season. He's got to get those bumps, unlike other teams that we know that take people out when they're starting to struggle. And I had him 16, but I moved him up to 14 just because I think Travis Etienne. Oh my gosh, Etienne. Right, he's going to be ready for the season, so they're going to have that 1-2 punch that they got from last year's draft. And you never know what year 2 for that young man's going to bring. But I have him at 14. It's not going to bring much, but it's going to be better than those other 2 teams. Scott.
I agree. I have him at 14 as well. They got lots of work to do. I think bringing in Zay Jones and Ingram, the tight end, and spending all that money on Christian Kirk, I think they believe those guys can be number 1, number 2s. I don't see it, but I know that they're trying to do the right thing and bring Lawrence some help. A lot of mock drafts I've seen, even my mock draft, they're picking first, and I can't see how they can pass up that defensive end, Aiden Hutchinson, in the first round. That'll help that defense that also is missing a lot of parts too, but I just don't see them having the right personnel yet. I think they're making the right moves. They are, but they got some work to do still.
I think this, I agree. I'm also Jags. I think this is kind of reminiscent of like one of those faltering drought year teams for the Bills where they tried to bring in like a bunch of wide receivers that were kind of maybe third string, maybe a second string in there. Some guys that maybe would provide some security but weren't going to be like breakout players while they were going through like their quarterback carousel, right, in the late 90s and the early 2000s. And hopefully, like, you know, I want to see Trevor Lawrence do well. I don't have anything against him, you know. And with the coaching change and, you know, they basically lost a whole year. The only thing they gained from last year was Trevor Lawrence got some gameplay. Like, that's it. Other than that, I think it was a big waste. So that all being said, I still think they're better than the Texans and the Jets by a lot.
Yeah.
Right. Patrick Hughes feels like the Browns should be at 14. I have them close to 14, Patrick. We'll get there, and you don't know what these other guys have, but Browns are last just for moral conduct, I think. But anyway, that's a different story. All right, we all agree that the Jackson Jaguars are at number 14. Let's go 13. Scott, lead the way.
I have the Steelers. My friend Eric Gordner won't agree with me on this. I have a lot of faith in Mitch Trubisky, but he's going to a brand new offense. He is going to an offense that likes to run the ball with Najee Harris. I think he'll have a breakout year, but their defense, I think, is middle of the line. I think they lost a few players, and everybody's getting older. You know, Cam Hayward and T.J. Watt and all that, but their offensive line is also somewhere where I'm kind of nervous. And if they can't block for Najee Harris, and if they can't protect Mitch Trubisky, then they're going to have to bench Mitch Trubisky and bring in Sam Howell, the rookie that they draft this year in the first round.
Oh, look at all this foreshadowing. I like it.
Mitch won't be benched. How dare you? Anyway, Swank.
I think he's pretty close to right on the nut. He's right on the nut on that one. I am going to give Mr. Patrick Hughes his wish, man. The Cleveland Browns. I think there is too much chaos. There is too much unorganization. Who is left on that team besides Chubb and Garrett? Like, I don't know what you do to bring. I don't know what you do to bring the team together last year or the year before, and now you lost all of those big name, big money players, and then you brought in Cooper, and you got Deshaun Watson, who A, F him, dude. B, when's he gonna play? All of these civil suits. Do you know when they're starting? Mid-season. So,
Oh, jeez.
I mean, legally and financially and, concentration, where is he going to be at? And how long is he going to get suspended for? And are you going to let him play the first part of the season and then he's going to miss the second half because of these court dates? And what happens when all this gets revealed and stirred up? Like, he doesn't have any criminal responsibility, but he might be responsible for all of this stuff. So, I don't know, man. I think if the Browns let him play until this, all these court dates start, that's the last straw. If you're a Browns fan, like, if I was a Browns fan, I'd already be done. But if they suit him up before all these court dates and the NFL doesn't do anything, that's a really tough pill for me to swallow. I wouldn't be able to do it. I think Cooper's going to be on an island. This is where his career is completely going to die. I have no faith in them. Zero faith. And everybody, I'm unbiased. I hate the Browns just the same every other day. Mm-hmm. And I didn't put them last. But damn it, they're close.
Yeah. I have the Miami Dolphins at number 13 on my list. Yeah. I don't know. I think they finished 9-8 last year, but they finished strong, right? I think they finished the first half of the season with 2 wins, and they finished strong. But I feel like also their wins came not when who they played, but when they played them, kind of like another team in the AFC East. It's when they played the teams that they won. So I have the Miami Dolphins struggling and not doing as well as everyone thinks they're going to be doing, and they're in the AFC East, so I don't want them to do well. So I have them at 13. But at number 12, I have the Cleveland Browns. I'm right there with you, Swank. They're in the bottom half there, 8-9 last year. Another thing about Watson that we have to remember is even if they do start him, Swank, he hasn't played in how many years, right? Mm-hmm. So he's got time off. He's got to get that back in and going. And then once he gets going, he might be out again. So that's a huge factor. I don't know what the Browns are going to do at QB, number 1, but I'm hoping for the falter of that team. And I see it happening, and they're going to be at number 12. Swank, what's your number 12?
Well, sir, man, I think your Dolphins pick kind of shocked the nation.
Is everybody upset about that?
I don't know. Well, Mike Voigt says it for sure. No, Dolphins deserve to be
I have
higher.
Dolphins at 12.
13 is good for Dolphins, Patrick Hughes says. Yes,
thanks, Patrick.
They got Hill, but still no QB that can get him the ball. Yeah, for me, my team here is the New England Patriots. I said it.
Oh, no.
Dolphins
I'm close to you too.
So am I. Hey, we got a smart list
I think the
going on
Dolphins
here.
are going to be better than the Patriots this year. I think that Mac Jones is a fraud, a huge fraud, and the Buffalo Bills defense definitely showed that when they weren't playing in hurricane, gale force winds, whatever. You got a lot of pieces missing. You got New England as a destination people do not want to go to anymore either. I think a lot of people are losing faith in Bill Belichick, and I don't think, necessarily that takes anything away from him. I still think he's a dangerous coach, and I think he's probably the best of all time, and they're going to change the Lombardi to the Belichick or something like that. Who knows? But I just don't know what they do to bounce back. I think he's kind of held on ever since Brady left. on like these scraps and coattails, and it ain't working anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You got like 2 dudes on that whole team right now, and if
They're both on defense.
yeah, I mean your offensive coordinator's gone. You know, I don't know if you're gonna turn the keys of the kingdom over to Mullet McSun Tongue Spit Cup boy. I don't know what's gonna happen with that. You know, like it just. I don't know. I think they're almost as bad of a dumpster fire as the Jets, but since it's the Patriots, everyone's like, no, everything's fine. You know, so the Patriots for me.
What are we on 12?
Yes.
Well, I had the Dolphins at 12. They brought in an offensive lineman, Armstead, one of the best in the league, to help out Tua. They brought in Tyreek Hill, but they got rid of Devontae Parker. I think he was talented. He just didn't have a quarterback to throw it to him, and I think that's the same issues that Tyreek Hill is going to have. He's not going to have a quarterback to throw it to him. Problem is, guys, is Tua's not that tall. So those outside patterns and those windowed patterns are a lot easier to throw. Now you got a guy that runs a 4.2, 4.3 40 sprinting across the middle of the field. You're not going to see him in those openings as easy as you'd see the guys in the outside. So it's going to be hard for Tua to find him crossing the middle, which is going to be a waste of a talent in Hill. And, you know, part of the issue, I always say this, the Miami Dolphins don't have a first-rounder pick this year, so they're not going to get immediate starter talent. And they also gave up a lot of touchdowns to Buffalo. So until they start fixing their defense a little bit, Tua can try all he wants to catch up to us. It's just not going to happen.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Good point. Number 11. I agree with Swank and one before, the New England Patriots. They're another one of those teams, like I mentioned, the Dolphins, more so the New England Patriots. It's not who they played, it's when they played them. They beat the Buffalo Bills that first round this year because of the hurricane stuff, but then we saw the next 2 games where it was decent weather. What happened when they played a good team? They played the Tennessee Titans after Henry went down. They beat them, you know, so it's not who they played, it's when they played them. So I don't feel like they're improving much, and I think they're actually faltering a little bit, and I see New England at the 11 spot. Swank.
Well, I know everybody was waiting. The Miami Dolphins.
There you go. I think it's crazy how we have all the same within the 3. Yeah. It's awesome.
We didn't go over the list together either. This is all off. So this is it's
separate. Cool. Jason Lee, no heck, dude. This comment that's up right now. Tua is a Hawaiian Baker Mayfield. that is the take of the night, dude.
There it is.
So good.
Can you blow that up and make it bigger?
Oh, it's down there, dude. It's already down there. It was down there.
What, Tua? Maya would love it if you could do that to Tua.
Yeah. I'll say this, though. I have more respect for Tua, I think. That whole story about how when all the Watson rumors were circulating around Miami and the way Tua handled it compared to the way Baker handled it, you know, in a shorter amount of time. I mean, Tua's had to put up with that the whole time he was down there. And that does not excuse the fact that I don't think he's like a very good quarterback. He progressed, he got better, and yes, he's got Tyreek Hill. But again, man, I think Tyreek, he's going to get his touches and he's going to have his numbers. It's not going to be like Patrick Mahomes back there firing rockets at him. He's just, I don't know. There's too many variables. It'll be interesting to see. I'd like to see how they incorporate maybe some of like these reverses or like, you know, direct stat, maybe some wildcat stuff to him. I don't know. They're going to have to find ways to get the ball in his hand. And I don't think Tua throwing it to him is going to be the way to do it all the time. I'm also getting really sick of like these PFF, like who's going to stop this offense, like images. And it's the Dolphins. And
Tua.
Like, I mean, Tua's going to stop it because I mean, Waddle and Hill and Jinseki, like, sure, man. But Tua, you know, I said it on the Sunday show a couple weeks back. I'll say it here right now. If Teddy Bridgewater gets the start over Tua, that team goes up 5 spots in my ranking. Teddy Bridgewater, I think, is a solid NFL quarterback that can make things happen. So
that was my biggest fear last year. 2 years ago was Fitzy. Wasn't Tua. Mm-hmm. It was Fitz. And there was
Fitzy's the only one that's put up any sort of fight against the Bills in a Miami uniform, right? Like, you know, I beat him once, right? Did he beat him once?
Oh, I don't know.
Allen?
I don't know.
I'll have to
Oh,
check that
I
out.
don't know.
Anybody out there know? I'll look it up in a second.
Yeah, it would have been 2 years ago.
They were
Fitz
winning.
beat-
They were winning, and Trey White got that interception in the end zone. The Bills turned it around and won that game.
Sealed it.
They
Yep,
won
they drove
that
down and
game.
won it.
Yeah, they won that one. I want to say, let me see.
It would have had to have been before. It would have been, probably the year that Allen came in. Allen's rookie year, I think they lost.
Mhm.
I believe that 2018. Look it up, Swanky.
I'm looking
Jarrod,
at it. Go ahead, boys.
I'm going 11 Patriots, and I'm not going to say much about the Patriots other than Mac Jones is not your quarterback. Don't be surprised if the Patriots hit up a quarterback in the second or third round. But I do believe the Patriots are also going to go after wide receiver in the first round. Jamison Williams is the guy that's coming to mind. And they're going to do everything to help out Mac Jones and nothing to help out that defense. A defense that lost J.C. Jackson.
That's big.
That's huge. And they just have defensive issues, and I don't think they're going to address that. And that's going to be a problem because remember, the Bills had a perfect drive percentage in the playoffs against them, 7 for 7. Remember that. Too often you see these teams making their offense better, but the defense couldn't stop the Bills. And unless you're going tit for tat and keeping up with the scores, you're not going to beat our Buffalo Bills, especially since our defense has improved.
Absolutely.
Okay,
That's Buffalo Spartan brings up a good point. Hill's going to outrun Tua's arm, and he's only going to be running the 10-yard curl, which Hill obviously brings a big threat to the game of football. But what Mahomes has that Tua doesn't, and Swank and Scott, you mentioned this before, is he can't get the ball downfield to him. So yes, Hill will be dangerous with the quick screens and the little reverses and stuff like that. But teams are going to know that that's the only threat that there is. Yeah. So it's going to be, I'm not taking anything against the Cheetah. He's a hell of a football player, but I think it was a bad call for him to go to Miami. Okay.
Sorry, real fast.
What are we at?
I have it.
Ahead,
it's December 2nd, 2018. It was Josh Allen's rookie year when he had Zay Jones and Holmes and all sorts of random wide receivers. They were actually
somebody's paying Zay Jones $10 million a year to play with. That's right. It's the Jaguars.
Hey man, I really like Zay when he was here.
So did I.
God, he got the yips and the drops, and that was it, man. It was over. So Josh had him in a spot to win, and then it was Ryan Tannehill who was quarterbacking for him, and he threw a TD pass to Kenny Stills to win the game at the end. So
Kenny Stills was a good slot guy. He's good. I liked him.
Patrick Hughes, I know Swank's going to put this up, but your list is good. I would move the Chiefs down a few spots. Wait till you see where I have them.
Yeah, I don't have them where people think I'd have them too. So number 10, this is where I have the Pittsburgh Steelers coming in. I believe in Trubisky. Guys, I know you probably got that feeling when we were talking about that before. Trubisky. So they finished 9-7-1 last year, and they were another team that it's not when you played them or not who, it's when. I mean, they played the Bills in the opening, the first game of the season. They beat them. I think that's just because Ben's able to take advantage of those first games. It's like another preseason. We're trying to find ourselves. So they got that win. That's one. It's when you played them, not who. So I believe in Mitch. I think he's going to go there and do wonderful things. I know they have a defense that's not going to be able to keep up with a lot of teams, but I got a feeling Mitch is going to be a good landing spot there. And that's why I have him at 10. Swank, what's your 10?
I'm right there with you. But for a different reason. I think Mike Tomlin is insane. He's a very underrated coach. I think he gets a lot of respect. But if you look at his history, somebody put it up earlier, man. Where was it? Mike said he had Steelers a couple spots ago. He's never had a losing season the whole time since he's taken over. And that is incredible. I know that you had Ben Roethlisberger, and that was a big part of it. You have a monster defense almost every single year. You have a solid run game most of the time. Like, they are going to be in there. And our friend Eric Gordner is going to be very happy about that. But, like, it's a fact, I think. They have a lot of the right parts in the right spots, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, we'll see. I'll be interested to see if that line is any better without an aging Ben Roethlisberger back there. And if Mitch Trubisky's back there and he gets the start, like, I don't know. I want to see him do well. But not well enough to beat the Bills out for anything. So
Well, they play him this year.
Yeah.
And we'll probably be going to that game because our buddy Gordner is a fan, and we love to get everybody together to go there.
that's a home
Mitch
game.
Trubisky, I'm rooting for Mitch. I really am rooting for Mitch, and the fact that he has a running game, and Ben's arm was gone last year, so who knows what's going to happen? They may improve just because of that. But I still had him at 13. I'm sorry, guys. I had Browns at 10, guys, and all I wrote was ouch. They stink. Organization needs to be embarrassed, more embarrassed than they already are, and they're just a train wreck, dumpster fire, and that's all I'm leaving that at.
So before we go any further, Paul Rossi, I was not ignoring your message here. Over on YouTube, he asked, guys, how is Easton doing? Do we have an update? I haven't talked to Joe in a little while, but we do talk fairly regular, and Easton has been doing great. He's been, he's an active little boy, runs around, does his thing. They do have follow-up appointments. Everything I've heard, so far is good. So, appreciate all you guys
Thanks,
chipping
Paul.
in for that. Thanks for bringing it up so that we could update them. I've been meaning to make sure that I want everybody to feel like they know what's going on. So, he's doing well, and he's home. Obviously, he's been home for a while, weeks, months, and everything's looking good. So, if we hear anything else, I'll let you know.
Thank you, Paul. That was great. Fantastic. All right, where did we leave off, guys? 10 Steelers, right? And then Scott, who'd you have? You had New England or
Brownies.
Cleveland there, right? Okay. Well, let's go to number 9. We're getting close to the playoffs. So this is going to be a team that playoffs. I have the Las Vegas Raiders, and I know they finished 10-7 last year, but they have a tough division to play in. And I just think that they're going to be the team that falters in that division. They got KC, they got San Diego Chargers, they have the Denver Broncos with the new situation going on over there. So I think the Raiders, even though they have some good upgrades, they're still going to finish at the 9th spot. Swank.
Bro, I think you were looking at my notes. Yeah, I was torn between the Raiders and the Colts, and I'm going Colts next. But
Me too.
I'll go Colts this time for you guys.
The thing with me was that Frank Wright, Matt Ryan, I think that's going to be this is going to be Matt Ryan's swan song. He's going to have a couple seasons that are the kind of seasons he should have had in Atlanta, I think, or the kind of finishes that he should have had in Atlanta. And I'm not saying Super Bowl runs, but I think solid, consistent, fair to Matt Ryan type football, smart football, without all the drama and ridiculousness. So I think that'll be a really good pairing, and that is why I had him edging out Carr and the Raiders. I know that the Raiders have thrown a lot of money at free agency. I know they're trying to go all in. I don't know if this was the right time to do that. I think maybe one more year and then swinging for the fences, especially after all of their coaching fiascos, and they had some tragedy with some players and stuff like that. And I hope Carr does well. I like him. I want Devontae Adams to do well. I think it's cool that they're reuniting, and maybe that'll spark a little friction. But I don't see him getting past that middling boiling point that they've always kind of been at for the last 5 years. So I'm saying the Raiders here.
Scott, you got the Colts. Why so?
I got the Colts. I love Matt Ryan. Excuse me. I've always been a Matt Ryan fan. And no matter what wide receivers he has there, he will make them better. I don't think T.Y. Hilton's signed back with the roster yet, and I think they're lacking at the wide receiver position. Michael Pittman is obviously a danger, a weapon for them. And they obviously have that offensive rushing attack with Jonathan Taylor, which I think it's a good situation for Matt Ryan. But I just don't think the Colts have enough firepower to be further up on the list. I honestly don't. Maybe next year they got to draft I think they got to draft a little bit to help Matt Ryan out, maybe next year with their first round pick because they don't have one this year. But he'll be there a little while, and I think they'll be able to bring some pieces in to help him, but it's just not this year. Let's talk 716. Scott, go Bills. Love it. What's up,
Sabres.
Robbie?
Go Sabres, he said.
Hey, Robbie.
No, go Sabres. Yeah, you sure did, didn't he?
What's up, Robbie?
Let's see here. I
Hey,
think
really-
Mike brought up a good point really quick.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we did touch on the guys did touch on it Sunday about Haskins passing. So sad news. Our condolences are to the family and friends of the family, and it's sad news. But yeah, they did. Man, it's hard to put into words what how you feel about someone passing. I mean, it's horrible. But hopefully, the family could stay strong and get together and get through it. It's hard to get through. It's nothing, you could sell someone to get through it, but they got to do it at their own pace, and sad stuff.
Yeah. We if you want to see what Scott and I had to say about it, I suggest that you go check out Sunday's episode of the pre-draft show. We got into it pretty deep, so I don't want to go on wax poetic about all of it. I think it's a tragedy. It sucks. I think, a millionaire running out of gas on the freeway after he's been putting in extra time in the off season at a training camp, like it's horrible. It's horrible circumstances. He was a father. He was a good guy. All this stuff. So, it's a bummer, and our thoughts are out with the players and the family, and it sucks.
All right. Where were we? Were we on 8 guys? Because that's where I have the Colts. I'm a big fan of Matt Ryan. I think he's going to do good things. What's that, Swank?
I don't know. Did we just rewind and now Scott's talking? It's like exactly what he said when he started his Colts thing.
But he was at 9, right?
Where did you have the Raiders?
Oh, I had the Raiders at 9.
Okay, so
we had it flip-flop. So mine was 8 with the Colts, and I feel like Ryan will be successful, and I think the run game that they have there won't go away, so I think they're going to stay strong. I'd like to see them make the playoffs. They're the team last year that I think no one wanted to see in the playoffs, and they got beat out, so no one did see them, but that was one of the scary teams that I didn't want the Bills to see, and I think that they're going to make a strong push. They might make it, but I have them at 8 because I think only 7 teams make the playoffs, right? So they're going to just make it outside. I wouldn't be surprised if they made it in, depending on how the other teams fall in front of them, obviously, but they're my number 8. Swank, what's your 8?
Well, I already kind of teased it, but same, Colts.
Yep.
I think, that running game is monstrous. I think Frank Reich is a brilliant mind in the NFL, and he's proven it ever since he started his coaching career. And I think him and Matt Ryan are going to be something special. I think that's something that Frank's probably been licking his chops over ever since they signed him. So that'll be cool. Defense is the defense. I don't know. I think that they're a solid contender, a bubble contender, a wild card contender.
I got the Ravens all the way at 8, guys.
Scott, go ahead. Ravens, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't think – I think Lamar, the more the years go by, the more he's figured out. And the defense isn't all what it was before. So I see them slowly bumping back and back and back. And I honestly don't think the Ravens have a first-round pick either, so that's not going to get much help out of that. So Ravens, I have at 8. I'll keep it simple.
Nice.
Who do you have at 7 then?
Sorry, real quick.
The Raiders.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Paul Rossi wants to know if we have any guesses if Baker finds a home before the season starts and where, and are we watching him crush his own career with his thin skin? I love that question.
So
Does that make me a bastard? Because I love that question. And yes.
See, because the lawsuits don't start till mid-season, he may find a home, but it's not going to be as a starter.
I'll respect the hell out of him more if he sits out and he says, no, trade me or I'm not playing. I would
good point.
respect the hell out of him. I would give him that little bit. I don't know. We have Patrick Hughes saying he feels like Baker ends up in Seattle or with the Texans. I could see Seattle. I don't think the Texans are gonna move on from Mills. I think they like him, and maybe they try to draft somebody, little young competition down there. They got Wait, do they have Tyrod? They have Tyrod still, right? Or did he go somewhere else?
Tyrod's gone.
Yeah, where'd he go?
I can't remember. He did Giants. Yep.
Giants. Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean,
where'd Baker play college? Oklahoma.
Well, the Seattle would be wonderful if he went to Seattle, because then it'd have a quarterback competition between Drew Luck and Mayfield, and anytime you can have a healthy competition at quarterback. Granted, they don't get the reps that they need with the starters to mold a nice little offensive formation there, but that would be a good competition. And honestly, it would be a reality check, I believe, for Baker Mayfield to realize, hey, I have to compete for a quarterback spot now, and Drew Lock beat me out. Hey, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? Send them somewhere where there's going to be quarterback competition. And I know, Swank, you feel the same way I do about Mayfield. I would love to see him be humbled and just say, man, you're not the guy for the spot. We got another guy that's not one of the elites, not one of the top 10s that just beat you out.
Mm-hmm.
If he had that epiphany, I mean, I try to put myself in the position of if we drafted him, right? Like if he was our quarterback and all that little smug stuff or all that putting the team on his back kind of moments that he had with Cleveland, and a bummer of a franchise that probably is gone through worse times than we have, right? Or comparable, at least, whatever.
Right.
If he was my quarterback, how I would feel. And yeah, man, like those sparks of him getting stoked and happy and hot and prancing down the field, maybe that would get me going. Not the same way when Josh leaps a guy, not the same way when Josh wrists a nonchalant 65-yard pass down the field, or zips a bullet to Emmanuel Sanders and it's in his hands before Emmanuel even knows, or threading the needle to Gabe. I mean, a million different things where I'm this guy is, again, I've said it for years, but everything that we've ever wanted, everything we've wanted since Jim Kelly and more, is Josh Allen. And but aside from that, I still think in the back of my head and in my heart, I would be Baker's an asshole. I just think that's what he is, and I don't think I can get by it and through it. And I probably would fake it if he was my quarterback. I'm glad I don't have to, but I think the best thing for him is to get somewhere new, sit on the bench for a year, or work his ass off in training camp and beat out the starter. That would be fine.
Something's going to humble him. If bringing in another quarterback's not going to do it, something's going to do it, and he may come back better, bigger, better, stronger.
See, I want if that happened to Josh Allen and the Bills signed Deshaun Watson, Josh Allen would be beat me, right? He wouldn't be trade me. He'd
trade
be
me.
Prove that you can beat me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I just goosebump myself. That is the kind of mentality he has. The kind of guy that gets carpal tunnel from writing 200 colleges that didn't want anything to do with him, promoting himself and his brand and learning and giving a damn, not crying and whining and making progressive commercials.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I've missed a lot of comments on that rant. I'm sorry.
Rants are good.
Baker was born an asshole.
Baker was even a douche at University of Oklahoma. Brent Thomason.
That's where he went.
Baker equals Manziel. Absolutely.
I've always said that too. I think they're the same people.
Mm-hmm. Maybe
right,
Baker.
We got 7 now.
This
is the playoff spots now. We're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I have all 4 AFC West teams making the playoffs. I don't, but this is something's going to happen. I got the Raiders here, Jarrod. I'll jump right in. They could be higher than this, I do believe. I think they can go higher. Max Crosby, Chandler Jones at their defensive ends could be very dangerous. You got Carr with Darren Waller, who's a dangerous tight end, and Devontae Adams now. So they barely missed the playoffs last year. I want to see. I'm a huge Derek Carr fan. Guy does everything right. He says all the right things. He's a very lovable
He's got
guy.
a very supportive brother.
So do I. Anyways,
Oh, you guys are so
I think
cute.
Derek Carr deserves playoffs, and he deserves playoff wins, not at the expense of the Buffalo Bills. I'm a huge fan of them, always have been, and I would like to see them make it this year.
Me too.
Like both agrees. 7. He's got the 7 spot with you, Scott. I have the Tennessee Titans at number 7. If that running back there can stay healthy, it makes the job easier for Tannehill. And they have a pretty decent defense. They finished 12-5 last year. They had the bye. They've had the best record in the FC. And again, that's because the later half of that season, it was when they played them, not who they played. So they were able to sneak in and get that first bye. And I think they lost that second round, right, in the playoffs. So I have them still making it. I have the Tennessee Titans, getting that last spot in the playoffs this year at 12-5. Okay, Swank, who's your 7?
For me, where we're at right now is prove it, right? So if you haven't proved it, because this is like, the AFC is insane. It is an insane division right now. The NFC.
Some would say it's insane in the membrane.
Insane in the brain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the NFC is nothing right now. I feel like it's 3 teams probably, right? Like Green Bay, Tampa, and
The Rams again.
Yeah, sure.
Dallas. What about Dallas?
Yeah, whatever. So keep that in mind when I'm doing this, because to me, there are teams that haven't proven it. There are teams that have just gotten in, or there's team on the decline, and then there's that upper tier of teams that are going to be in the mix all the time. So my pick right here is the Denver Broncos. I know Russell Wilson has proven it, but Denver as a team has not, and we know how these things go. I think Russell will make the team better, absolutely. I think that they have a strong offense, strong wide receiver core. Defensively, they're okay. I just, you never know. You never know. It's a wild card. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and put them in the wild card spot. But I got Denver right there for me.
Swank, I think Scott and I both are thinking the same thing you are, because we haven't said Denver either. And that's why I have them at number 6 for me, for the same exact reasons as you do. Maybe Wilson was that one piece that they needed. They were showing improvement in a couple of years. They got a team coming together, and I think Wilson, even though he's an older quarterback, he's a wiser quarterback. And I think him being in Denver is going to be something special for them, as they're going to take the number 6 spot. Scott, who you got for 6?
I have the Titans at number 6.
Titans.
I have the Titans at number 6. I think Tannehill got the weapon he needed in Robert Woods. We all love Robert Woods. He's an ex-Buffalo Bill. And, he's got those dangerous wide receivers on the outside. Obviously, Julio Jones didn't pan out, but A.J. Brown's still there. So he's got the deep, big threat. And they got the running game. And if Henry could stay healthy, and now they have Robert Woods that could do basically anything, I think that offense will be better. They need an O-line to protect a little better, but I have them make the playoffs. I have them be number 6.
Again, prove it, right? So we're at this spot for me where I could lean Titans or Ravens. I am leaning Titans. They lost Saffold. I think Tannehill is still not the guy. I don't believe in him at all. I think you can look at some of the stats that he had in some of these games and be like, what the hell? And I know Derrick Henry was out and they were still winning games. I still don't believe in him. It's just what it is. But he did. He went out. He won these games. They are contenders. I think that coach is something crazy, man. He just knows how to light a fire in those guys. And Derrick Henry is the truth. We'll see how his legs hold out. But, yeah, I got the Titans here.
All right, so number 5, we're getting to number 5. We're moving down the list pretty quickly. I have the Baltimore Ravens here. I think you can't give up on Lamar Jackson. I know a lot of people, Scott even mentioned that he thinks that people are starting to figure him out. I do too. I think they're starting to figure him out, but the NFL sometimes is about adapting to season to season, and hopefully he can learn. He's a quarterback that we all like. I remember Swank a couple of weeks ago mentioned how you never know what you're doing in the draft with quarterbacks and all these receivers and stuff, because a lot of people picked Rosen to go in the top 3, and Lamar Jackson ended up being in the last. And look at, you should have switched him. Lamar should have been one of the first, and Rosen should have been in maybe 3rd round. So I still believe in Lamar. I don't like playing against him because he is that threat, and I feel like the Baltimore Ravens will get that 5 seed.
We're at 5, huh?
Yeah. Scott, what do you got?
I have the third ranked AFC West team as number 5. The Chiefs.
AC.
Yep,
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Oh.
They lost Tyreek Hill.
Oh,
And with this whole Lamar Jackson thing I
Oh.
talked about is how they figured out Lamar Jackson. I think teams have figured out Mahomes. The Bills, obviously, they couldn't stop Tyreek Hill. This is the problem, is teams are figuring out Mahomes, and they just got rid of Mahomes' number 1 most dangerous target.
we talked about
Plain
this
and
on a
simple.
Sunday, man. If it
So-
was between him and Kelsey, I would have got rid of Kelsey.
Rid of Kelsey. Yep. Tyreek Hill is such a dynamic player. Yards after catch, the same as McCole Hardman for Mahomes. You keep Mahomes in the pocket, he's not that good. And guess what the Buffalo Bills just did? They arguably have the number 1 defensive line in the NFL. They brought in Von Miller. They have Tim Settle, Jordan Phillips. That line is significantly a lot more dangerous. And guys, I just gave myself goose pimples. Now, Jared, you're the only one left to give yourself goose pimples. But that defensive line is going to be sick. And someone mentioned it earlier. We should make a wager of how many sacks the Bills are going to have by midseason, because Bills had a lot of pressures last year. They were not, like top 5 in pressures. Just couldn't bring the quarterback, couldn't get home. You're going to see a lot of quarterback knockdown this year. But the Chiefs' defense hasn't gotten any better, and they lost Tyreek Hill, and I think Mahomes is figured out. So they're going to be 3rd in the AFC West.
Wow.
You heard it here first, gentlemen.
All right. Honest question. And I want you to answer this, guys, honestly. That's why I said honest. So we often follow Twitter, and there was somebody out there throwing numbers out again. Mahomes is better than Allen. I don't know if you guys saw this. And they used Mahomes' worst season is better than Allen's best season.
I saw that.
But okay. But here, buddy, if you're going to throw facts out there, you have to throw the correct ones out there. He used different stats from 2019. And also he argued that the reason why his worst season wasn't the worst because he won the Super Bowl that year. But if you're using stats, you got to use the worst. In heart of hearts, Swank, who's your better quarterback, Josh Allen or Mahomes?
What do you want me to say?
Just be honest.
I told you.
Swank,
I told you,
tell us
man.
why it's Allen Swank. We know who it is.
I told you. This is the guy that I've been waiting for, right? For my whole young to adult life, man. Preteen to jaded late 30s male. I've been waiting for Josh Allen, and he came here, man. He is my Luke Skywalker, but way cooler. He's like Luke Skywalker if he was Han Solo, dude. Badass. I'll tell you why I like him, man. He doesn't complain. He goes out and he works hard. He still, every single time you hear him, he can shut teams out and say, we left some points out there on the field. There's stuff we got to clean up. He doesn't complain to the refs. He has fun. He jacks people up. He puts the team on his shoulder. He leaps, dude, and he's a $250 million quarterback. I think he is just the most blue-collar, big kid, most enjoyable, most rootable NFL player I have ever seen. If he lost every game from here on out, I would still be the biggest Josh Allen fan. And that's the difference. I think Patrick Mahomes, after he got that Super Bowl, he got entitled. He's a hell of an athlete. He is just priming himself to be the next Tom Brady. That is where he's at right now. He's a mobile Tom Brady. He cries. I don't enjoy watching him as much as I used to. He is phenomenal. He's got an arm. He can make people miss. And maybe a lot of it is because he's a nemesis. And you need that in football. But I don't believe that he is an earnest dude the way I believe Josh Allen is. Josh Allen, you can go slam a beer with right now. Patrick Mahomes, I got this shitty wife.
Kermit the Frog here. I was wondering if you wanted to drink a beer with me because I'd love to throw a deep ball to you as well.
Do you have anything that's in light draft?
Can I
What's
throw
a
something out
craft
there?
beer?
Can I throw something out there?
Of course you can.
Yes,
And I'm a quarterback guy, so I have my quarterbacks ranked, all 32 of them. And I don't think Mahomes is even – I don't think he's even top 5. And this is why. For the fan that put out these statistics,
That's
go
that's
check
a bold
out
statement, bro.
first of all Andy Reid, and then Swank. I'm telling you this too, Swank. Go check out yards after catch for the wide receivers that Mahomes has.
Yeah.
That's all that needs to be said. Yards after catch. You can dump it off to Tyreek Hill and McCole Hardman, and they can run an 80-yard pass just like that. And Mahomes gets all those yards in that touchdown. Yards after catch. Not the hard out routes, not the hard quick turn curls, outside curls. None of those. Just slants across the middle, open it wide open, let those guys outrun everybody else. Yards after catch for his wide receivers are a significant number. I think he had 2,500 more passing yards just this year alone because of that. And that's a huge number to take into consideration when you're talking about who's a better quarterback. Josh Allen by far.
Give Josh Allen one of those receivers. Give Josh Allen somebody that can catch or run after the catch.
Give Josh Allen an offensive coordinator that has the plays that allow that for happen. Josh Allen's plays a lot of times were those quick digs and quick hits that didn't allow the receiver. Beasley got knocked for not having a lot of yards after catch, but his routes didn't ask for that. So you get an offensive coordinator like an Andy Reid that allows for those yards after catch yards. You've got someone that's going to have 6,000 passing yards, not the 4,000 that he's had recently.
Hey, Lonnie Cook says Mahomes is a crybaby. That's right, Lonnie. Also, Buffalo Spartan. I love Allen when his funny attitude comes out, like when he got sacked and threw the ball at that guy's helmet.
Yep.
You know, like, I think that in years past, and maybe if that wasn't my team, I would be like, oh, come on, man. I felt everything that Josh Allen was feeling in that moment, and that was like the win I took away. And I think they got screwed, and there was a lot of bad calls in that game, and, you know, whatever. I think he took it over like that, like, whatever, man. You know, like, and that's the guy we need. It's not the hero he needs to be. It's the hero we need, you know?
Yeah, I'll take Allen over Mahomes any day. That's my argument. Okay,
go,
what
Jared.
number are we at, guys? What number are we at? We at number 4?
4.
Swank, did you get your 5?
No.
Scott, you did 5 with Kansas City, right? Swank, what's your number 5?
Well, again, it's not going to be the Chiefs, but prove it, right? I am at a crossroad. So it was between Titans, Ravens. So you'd say like Ravens, but also Chargers. And this is like where it gets weird right now for me because you have to go between what they've done, what they could do, and where they're at. I'm at Baltimore here, and I'm going to put San Diego next notch above them in the next round. And I'll tell you why, man. I hate putting Lamar Jackson this high. I hate putting the Ravens this high. I think they are predictable. I think they got that kind of bully offense and defense that can work and then sometimes can't. It's like that classic mobile quarterback template that they used with like RG3 and like Kaepernick. And the thing is, Lamar is more athletic than either of those dudes, and he makes it work more often than not. But you cannot sustain this kind of play for a long time. And if they are successful in the beginning of this season with Lamar healthy, it is only because Lamar missed the second half of the season last year. And he's like able to like come out and be fresh and do it. I don't trust him to finish a season. I think they'll be right in it. And I think they'll trip into a lot of games and they'll be low scoring games. But I mean, I know I should be talking up the positives of the Baltimore Ravens because I have them this high, but really it's just because their track record. I'm not a believer. I haven't been a believer in a couple years. So
it's valid points too. Valid points. So number 4, I have the KC Chiefs. I didn't have them at 2 or number 1 or number 3. I have them right there. I think they've lost a lot with Hill going. The D did get
you guys are
a little
blowing
bit
my
weaker
mind right now. I don't know what your top's going to be. I got an idea what your 1's going to be.
Well, you know 1, so we got to figure out. So the Kansas City Chiefs, I think they're gonna all the same points Scott made. We're gonna see Mahomes probably have his worst season ever coming out because he doesn't have Tyreek Hill to just dump it off to and let run. And they got a tough AFC West division over there. So KC number 4. Scott, what's up with you?
Second-ranked team in the AFC West, I have the Broncos. Russell Wilson and Javonte Williams, second-year running back that they drafted last year. Russell Wilson thrives with running backs, as he did in Seattle. And Russell Wilson also has Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton. So I think that offense is going to be surprisingly good. I really do.
Your list is controversial, man.
Mhm.
Like, and this is the fun part.
That's why he's
about
been
this.
sitting like this all night.
I know. He's like, wait until I drop this shit on these guys. But I mean, this is it, because like these top 10 teams can do a lot of different stuff, man. It could hash out a whole lot of different ways, and then you could have some of those bottom teams pop up, and who knows, man. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No, you're fine. That defense is all right. They just brought in that Randy Gregory from Dallas. Their corners, their safeties are okay. Their defensive line is pretty stout. So I think the offense improves. I think they improve. Javonte Williams was a really good running back, and I think it took the Denver Broncos all year to realize that. And he's on my fantasy team, and I'm going to keep him because I think he's going to be a 1,600-yard rusher, especially under Russell Wilson, who's going to dump the ball off to him a lot. And like I said, he's got Sutton and Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
I think he'll be fine. I think that Denver Broncos team will be good.
it's all about locking in and connecting. So hopefully, I mean, Russell Wilson is a pro's pro. I get it.
And everyone likes him too. If you don't like him, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, that's true. It's just that unknown for me. But yeah, I could see it. I mean, literally, you could put these freaking teams in a hat and just pick out.
Yeah, you could
pick out whoever you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you want me to?
So did you share your number 4 yet?
No,
Yep,
I have
go ahead,
not,
bud.
dude. I have not. This is my homer pick in the 4s, man. The Chargers. I think the Chargers have a very, very high ceiling. I think they swung for the fences in the offseason like most of the AFC West. I can see why you guys have knocked the Chiefs down as low as you have, just because really the one thing we haven't talked about, the inner division competition has risen an insane amount. Like literally, I think any of those teams have a shot of splitting series with the Chiefs, and if that happens, that's 3 losses in the AFC, in their own division, in their own conference. Like, it's gravy for us, man.
Mm-hmm.
And not that we want to get in that way, but I'll tell you what, man, I'll get in any way we can get in. So I don't care. If those guys knocking off the Chiefs here and there makes it so we have home field advantage and we play them in the playoffs, bring it. Bring that shit to Buffalo. But you have an exciting quarterback in San Diego. You have a defense that I think is going to get a breath of fresh air with Mac. You just have like a crazy dynamic there. A team that's like an underdog, even though they split a stadium with another team who was a bigger underdog years ago, and now they've. When did you ever think the St. Louis Rams were going to be more popular than the San Diego Chargers? I just never in a million years. And now they're playing the same stadium, and people are like, who? Chargers what? Like, these guys, I think, have the potential to be right up there with everybody. And they're exciting. Keenan Allen, I mean, it
just signed Mike Williams to a big deal.
Yeah, the list goes on. And I think that they are a very interesting team to see and watch moving forward.
I'm just glad we don't have to play them twice.
Yeah.
All right. Swank, lead in with number 3. Keep going.
Number 3. Well, you got to go with the Bengals. I'm not a Burrows fan. The only reason they are so high up is because they made it to the Super Bowl this year. They obviously got a little something in them. They beat the Chiefs. We couldn't beat the Chiefs. Yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Chase is amazing. I don't know, man. I think unless they really work on that offensive line, Burrows is going to struggle very much this season. I think he's got all the fundamentals. He's a solid quarterback. I don't like him. I think he's a jerk. I think he's cocky. I'm
I
not
agree.
mad at that. But again, not taking away anything that he does on the field. I don't know. The Bengals have always been one of those teams that I've rooted for, like, secretly, secondarily, unless they're playing the Bills. And it's cool to see him doing well. No, I don't even feel good about it, but that's where they're at right there.
Yeah, I have them at number 3 too. I think their O-line did get better this free agency already. The big thing they're going to have to do is we're not fans of Burrow, but he was on his ass all last season. So to have a good defense and make up for that, I think that's going to be key because they still have a lot of parts on that defense. Another thing is Burrow's health. That can be, if Burrow can stay healthy, number 3 seeds sounds about right for me. Scott.
I'm giving them 3 too, and I'm giving them this very lightheartedly because I believe that this potentially could be a team that doesn't even make the playoffs. You never know. Oh, I think Burrow got hurt halfway through his rookie season, so now NFL teams have a full season of video to watch him.
Yep.
Yes, he's got Jamar Chase. They made their offensive line better. They brought in Alex Kappa, Ted Karros, and Lyle Collins. So the offensive line did get better, but I don't see the back. They were 10-7 last year. I don't think their record was as good as bad as it could have been, but I think they played the right teams at the right time in the playoffs. So I'm going to give them 3. I not like you guys. I'm not a fan of Burrow, but they could be 3, or they could win the division, or they could be out of the playoffs completely. So it'll be an interesting season for them. But this is the thing, guys. If they don't make the playoffs, then fans that kind of understand the game of football will really understand the fact that having a full season of film on someone really does make a difference.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, he ate turf so much last year.
So much in the playoffs.
In the playoffs.
Jesus.
In the playoffs.
Playoffs.
Which ultimately got them, right? I mean, in Super Bowl, that's what ultimately.
Sure, but how? This is the crazy thing. How did they make it that far?
Exactly.
If the dude's eating turf all the time, I mean, it's a credit to him. He's a great quarterback, right? But that offense outside of him and Chase, Mixon,
yeah.
What else?
Zoma, they lost their tight end.
Yeah, so great. Stack up the line. Maybe you get some young guys in there. I think he can make it happen. But Scott's right, man. It's as much of a chance that they'll bomb as they'll make it, as they'll be nuke-warm. That's it. And that would drive me crazy. As a fan, that would absolutely drive me crazy. Do it again this year, and next year, I'll have more confidence putting you in the same exact spot.
We have the Bengals.
They have the 31st pick this year in the first round. I could see them picking an offensive guard. Kenyon Green, we talked about potentially the Bills getting him if that was what they were interested in, but I could see the Cincinnati Bengals grabbing him.
Sure.
So give credit to the fact that the AFC is a very strong division this year is the reasoning why they could be number 3, they could be number 1, or they could be out. So we have a strong AFC this year, and it's going to be interesting to watch and see how everything falls in. That being said, my number 2 is the Chargers. I'm a big fan of Herbert. He's a man.
Herbert?
It's one of those things where we even preach with Tua. Herbert stayed in when he was struggling. He got his bumps and he learned a lot. So I think that's going to be huge for next year for him. So just that alone, if you have a quarterback, I think he's in the same boat as we are. We have our quarterback at Josh Allen. So anything underneath that, we got some players to fill in, which is a great thing to help us keep going. But I think San Diego, the Los Angeles Chargers are in the same boat where they have a good quarterback now that they feel confident in, that makes great decisions, that anything underneath is going to just help keep flow that team. So, and their defense is stout too. So that's why I have them at number 2. I had Herbert on my fantasy football last year and he did well. He did well for me.
Well, yeah, their defense got better because they brought in Khalil Mack and they brought in J.C. Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And they have Bosa still. And that defense is going to be amazing. I'm sorry, Swank, to cut you off. No. But, Jarrod, I'm going Chargers for my number 2 as well. I just wanted to jump in because I agree with you. The offense is set, and I think if the Chargers draft one of these top 6 cornerbacks that are in the NFL draft in the first round, I think they're going to be a very dangerous team and potentially might be that AFC Championship game that we watch in Highmark this year.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. Like I said, I'd rather see that matchup than the Kansas City game, and that's not saying that I'm scared or whatever. I don't care who the Bills play. I think that the Bills are the top of the top. So for me, my number 2 is the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, it goes back to what I was saying. Prove it. They've proven it. They are the Achilles heel. They are the nemesis. They are the arch rival. Andy Reid is a genius. Patrick Mahomes is super talented. We'll see what happens without Hill. My fear is guys like Pringle are going to step up. You know, there's going to be somebody that's not as fast as Hill, but those schemes that he draws up, I mean, Patrick Mahomes just gets it. He is 100% a football guy. He understands everything. I hate his attitude. Like I said, I think he's a big crybaby and whatever else. But you can't take away from the fact that they've been there, they've won it, they've proven it. They're there all the time. And until we get over that hump, it was great beating them in the regular season this year and beating them bad. But playoffs, man. Got to beat them in the playoffs. So the Chiefs are there until they get knocked off, man. And I'm sure some people got him at number 1. Not this guy.
Nope. No, I agree with you, Swank. You know, they've been there. They got that taste. So they have that, and they have an excellent head coach, Andy Reid, and he's another one of those likable guys that you can do nothing but root for him because he's very, very good. So, yeah. All right, guys, who's your number 1?
The Buffalo Bills.
Bills, all right. That was easy.
Josh
right,
Allen.
It's one of those things. I think we said last year and the year before that many questions come up. Did any of the AFC East teams catch up with the Bills or improve enough to catch up with the Bills? And the fact of the matter is they haven't, because the Bills keep improving as well. There comes a time in a team's building where they plateau a little bit, and the Bills just haven't done that yet. So even though other teams in the AFC are getting better, and the AFC especially are getting better, the Bills have gotten extremely good just in free agency. So they just keep adding levels. And that's why I have the Buffalo Bills at number 1, as well as quarterback number 1, Josh Allen, still there. And he just does magical things. He's a football player. And that first and foremost is the big thing. And he brings everybody else in that locker room up. So Buffalo Bills, number 1 for me. Swank.
Yeah, Buffalo Bills. I mean, what more needs to be said? We say it every week on Tuesdays and Sundays. The K-Gun Report at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Also, we're probably going to try Twitch next week. Yeah, man. I have all the faith in the world in this team. It's got a solid foundation. We got Uncle James here asking about if we're really going to trade up for a cornerback in the draft. Who knows? Scott and I have put out those scenarios a couple times. I think it's a big possibility. I wouldn't be surprised by it. I also wouldn't be surprised if they didn't, and they waited and they picked up one in the second and the third. And there's good value there too. But, yeah, man, how can you not? How can you not love this team? How can you not root for them? They've done everything right. I saw a list of free agent pickups that we've gotten. And it's like, I know everyone. I know every single one. But there's been so many that you forget. We have Case Keenum on this team.
Yeah,
you know,
about
like,
that today.
You think about you think about the pickups that we have, and then you're like, that is a really solid pickup. People were worried about Barkley being the backup. He's not. Case Keenum is the backup, and he's got, you know, it just like every move, man, every single move is so precise, and it's like that makes so much sense. And we still have a whole draft. You know, I don't know. Over the moon, man. It's great.
Love it, Swank. Scott, Bills?
It's Bills, and it's only because, you know, the Bills can do anything they want right now. They could stay right where they are and draft a cornerback that's going to make a difference and they could do what we all think they're going to do and move up. And that's all they need to do. All the positions are fulfilled. And right now they're bringing in people just to fill up that 90 spot roster. It's a wonderful place to be. We say it every year in and year out, where there's going to be players on this team that we're going to see leave that potentially would have made the team 10 years ago easily. And we preach one day at a time. We preach enjoy the ride. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I encourage that because this whole journey is fun, and the draft is in 2 weeks, and we're about to see someone's life change forever, especially since they know they're going to a team, the Buffalo Bills, that is this close. And if they get drafted in the first round, then they believe tell me this isn't a good feeling. Being drafted in the first round for the Buffalo Bills, you got to believe that you're the one piece that they think they're missing.
Yeah. It closes that.
The one piece that they're missing. And that's got to be such an ego boost. It's got to be such a confidence builder. And that's just going to make that player want to learn that much more. And especially under that iron sharpens iron thing, I can't wait to see who they draft, whether it's 25, whether they bounce back into the second round, or if Bean is going to do what we think he is and get up in the first 10 picks and grab an outstanding cornerback that's going to be dynamic for the next 5 years with minimum pay. Can't wait for it. I'm excited for the 28th, guys.
Hell yeah.
Pandemonium, thank you for participating tonight. As always, you guys didn't let us down. It was great. Swank added that new feature so we could see everybody's comment going up during the live feed here. And that's fantastic too. Guys, we went a little over tonight. Oops. Scott, let's close this out quickly. Scott, lead the way.
No, thanks, Pandemonium. Love you guys. Wouldn't be here without you. Looking forward to the conversation on every Sunday, 11 o'clock. For the pre-draft, we only got 2 more of those, and obviously the K-Gun Report, 8 o'clock. That's our bread and butter. We love doing this every night for you guys, and obviously we're a little selfish. We love doing it for ourselves because we just can't get enough of Buffalo Bills football and love talking Bills football with you guys. So thank you, Pandemonium Mafia. Let's get some.
Yeah.
Swank. Yeah.
Yo, thanks for hanging out. The participation was amazing. Still rolling numbers right now, and you guys are the best, man. This was a really fun night, ranking all that. Like, I didn't know it was going to take that long, but it's super fun, and it's a little tricky once you get up into those top numbers. So,
yeah.
You guys can hang out with us every Tuesday, 8 p.m., the K-Gun Report, right here. You can get your comments up on the screen. How crazy is that? Oh, my God. Such a cool feature. YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter. We're going to try and dance into Twitch a little bit. I don't know if anybody's into that out there, but we're going to see what's going on. Maybe get a little Buffalo Bills out in that Twitch. And also, all these episodes will be uploaded to Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcast as soon as I can do it. So, thanks for hanging out. You guys are the best.
You're simply the best.
Truly, man, you guys are the best. So I thank everyone for participating tonight. And don't forget to catch these guys, Swank and Scott, Sunday. And I'll see everybody at next Tuesday. Till then, be safe. Enjoy the nice spring-like weather that we're having right now. And as always, go Bills.
Can't wait for the draft. Man, I'm excited. Can't wait to see you guys. Phone calls will be open. Come and talk to us. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
This is a dangerous group that